Hey, welcome back. So I have a question for you. Have you been to see your metaphysician lately? What? First time I heard that, I said, I meta what? Well, guess what? We have a metaphysician on the show today. What is a metaphysician? Stay tuned. My name is Vin Dacquino. Our guest is KrisTina
Antosik.
KrisTina Antosik. I need a metaphysician. What is a metaphysician? Talk to me, Christine.
Hi, Vinny. Thank you for having me. A metaphysician is someone who studies and teaches the laws of metaphysics.
Okay, so metaphysics is what?
It's basically anything that's not physical. Basically, everything is made up of energy, even things that we think are physical. Yeah, they may be physical, but they're made up of energy. And so are we. We are all just energy.
So you sort of manage that energy?
I manage that energy for people. I basically help them become aware of the universal laws that are already in effect all day, every day. And with that awareness, they can then gear those laws to help bring into their lives what they want, since it's already in motion anyway.
So you teach people how to have a better control over their own lives?
Yeah, they can create their own lives whichever way they want, just with the awareness of this.
Interesting. So now, how did this all come about? I know you're also an author. You do writing. Mm-hmm. When did this metaphysician thing happen?
Well, I learned about it about 8 years ago and started applying it to my life and have been helping people for 8 years.
Wow.
Now I'm in the process of getting my doctorate in metaphysical sciences. And basically, because I've seen it work so many times with people and myself, I had to pass this knowledge along. I've had a very, as you know, loaded kind of life. It wasn't a Pollyanna kind of life. You know,
you came up the rough way.
Yeah, many people have died, I know, so I have a spiritual side as well as the metaphysical side. But once I learned of this law, and I even started becoming aware of it before I really learned it, once I realized we can have control of our own lives and actually bring in what we want instead of just being victims of circumstances, I had to share that with people because we're only given so much time here, and I want us to all live in adult Disneyland and not, live in a, it's a yin and a yang.
So when you talk about awareness,
yes.
What do I need to be aware of?
Okay, what you need to be aware of is that certain universal laws are always in effect all the time. So just like the law of gravity is always happening all the time, the law of, say, attraction is always happening all the time, which is that what you think about and what you feel about, you bring about into your life. So it's not like one day I'm going to apply the law of attraction. No, it's happening all day, every day.
But you're just not aware of it.
You're not aware of it, just like you're not aware of gravity until it starts moving physical
until
objects.
something falls on your head.
Yeah, so this is always happening just like gravity, except people are just completely unaware of it. So once you become aware of it, it's a good practice to be more and more aware of it. And I teach people strategies on how to really apply it and really get in the frequency of what they want. It's really fun because you're feeling what you want, and then you all of a sudden you bring it into your life.
I'd love to. Give me an idea of a strategy for awareness.
Okay, so there's one of it is that what you focus on, you bring about. 17 seconds of focused thought gets the manifestation ball rolling on what you want. If you can focus on it for up to 68 seconds, it's definitely happening in your life.
Usually I can't focus on anything more than 10 seconds.
Exactly, exactly. So we live in a very ADD universe, okay?
Yeah.
Especially with these electronics happening all the time.
Especially in New York.
Right. So, Napoleon Hill once said, basically, the strongest form of focus is writing.
Ah, well, that I can do.
Yes. So I actually have a group every month at the library called the Monthly Manifestational Group, where I have them and I, apply certain exercises, but they basically they define what it is they actually want. They dare themselves to actually want what they want instead of thinking it's impossible. They don't worry about the how, and they write free-flowingly, stream of consciousness, how it will feel, and they get into the depths of how it's going to feel once that happens and having it. And in that, they are so focused for way more than 68 seconds, it always ends up happening.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So you can bring about, it isn't necessarily change, it's just an awareness of what you already have.
Yes.
You're not looking to change
Well, you could want to
That
change your
too.
life, and
yeah,
you
yeah,
can.
you might.
Yeah.
But it's also being aware of what you already have.
Yes, and it's also, you brought about a good point versus change versus a shift. It's not necessarily sometimes a change in consciousness, but also a shift in consciousness. So another good thing to remember is that when you focus on something, the way you focus on it matters. So say you want to lose weight. If you keep saying, I want to lose weight, I want to lose weight, I want to lose weight, you're actually attracting weight. You have to focus on what you actually want. So if you want to be thin versus built, you would say that, I want to be thin. How does it feel to be thin? I want to be built. How does it feel to be built? If you're going to work and you don't want to be late, you don't say, I don't want to be late, I don't want to be late, I don't want to be late. You're going to actually attract being late. You have to say, I want to be there early. How does it feel to be early? When you're focusing on something, you're focusing on one of two topics of it. You're focusing on the having of it or the not having it of it. So you could actually focus on something with a lot of nervousness and actually end up pushing it away, creating more nervousness.
So instead of focusing on the what, you focus on the how?
Never focus on the how.
Oh!
Never focus on the how. Good point. Never focus on the how. See, what limits us as we become more and more adults is our paradigms, which is basically, it's our belief systems. Around us is a reflection of our belief systems. It's how far you're willing to go given what you already know. The problem is that what we already know is mostly bullshit. Okay? I don't know if I can curse. So,
You already did? Too late?
so basically, for instance, I'm trying to think now. Like, all right, if I wanted $10,000, a lot of times I'd be like, well, how am I going to get it? And that'll stop you. You never focus on the how. You focus on why do you want it? What are you going to do with it? And the universe will, like, basically, because you're like focused on that and you're in that frequency, it'll rearrange itself to get there. You know, you don't know how it's going to happen. That's the great part.
So this doesn't happen overnight.
It can happen overnight.
It can happen overnight.
Yeah, time is an illusion.
Don't you have to gear your brain? It's just like, you know, if you want to lose weight, you should learn how to chew 22 times instead of swallowing. I mean, is it you have to change the way you do things? Change the way you think?
You would shift your consciousness.
Shift.
This can happen overnight. However, you know, practice does make perfect. However, the more you practice this, the better your life's going to get, the better and better and better. You're going to love the results. It's fun to practice it.
So instead of concentrating on a life change, you talk about a life shift. You do what you do, but you're more aware, more focused about what you're doing each day.
And sometimes you don't do what you do.
Oh.
You know, if someone's nervous about something all the time, they're then going to, you know, pivot that into feeling confident about it, which will attract more of that. Basically, we are magnets. We are energy magnets, okay? So whatever you're feeling, you're literally going to attract that same exact thing. So if you're, like I said, worried about something, you're going to attract more being worried about it. You would have to actually pivot that. What's the opposite of that? Feeling calm, relaxed, and relieved about it. Okay, well, you know, and you would write about how it would feel to be calm, relaxed, and relieved about it, and you would really feel it. And with that, the results start flowing in.
I mean, I can understand that. When I write, I step out of myself, and I give myself to my characters, and let my characters do the writing.
Right.
And I basically do what they need to be done in order to accomplish their goal.
Yeah.
So
That's really good. That's also that's an important point of letting go.
Yeah.
You seem to be letting go in a sort of meditative state, which is great. And that's another very important part of this process is you can't just focus on something so much that you get nervous about it. No, you focus on it, you think, wow, wouldn't it be great if this happened? What if this happened, right? And then you, almost like you put an order in at a restaurant, you let go almost with confidence, thinking, that's going to happen to me. I'm expecting that. And also to not put too much emphasis on it, because there's a weird energetic dance that happens where if you put too much emphasis on something, then you start feeding into the fear of it. Basically, what you would end up doing is saying, this or something better.
Yeah, so you,
this or something
so you have to
better.
be careful not to replace one thing with another.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I get that. Because instead of worrying about being late, you're worrying about not worrying about being late. You're still worrying.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about the key emotion you're feeling. You would have to, you would actually have to Yeah, step out of your current time and circumstance and actually put yourself in the future to feeling you already having it. Time is an illusion anyway, so all we have is the present moment. So once we feel that amazing feeling we want in the present moment, it actually brings it to the present moment.
Wow. So is this difficult? I mean, when you work with people, do they go, yo, KrisTina, what you talking about?
Yeah, they do. And what's great is, I'm not here to tell them what they want to hear. I'm here to tell them what they need to hear. And the other interesting thing is they actually like hearing this after a while. Cause,
yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah.
Because I imagine you get change quickly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but you could start from anywhere. I've dealt with very depressed people, and I get it. And where to start from there is gratitude. So you can literally be grateful for anything, including your limbs.
I work with writers all the time.
Yeah.
And I talk to so many writers about, when they start a book, all I want to do is get to the end. Mm-hmm. And I said, whoa, you have to live in the middle. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You're telling a story. Mm-hmm. It's not writing a book.
Yeah.
It's telling a story. It's getting involved. It's bringing other people to people.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's a mindset.
And you also brought up an important point about the journey. Mm-hmm. There was a study done on happiness that basically the people are the most happy when they are in the anticipation of getting what they want, even more so than when they actually get it.
Oh yeah.
What they want.
I mean, there's so many people. God, if I've run across that, where people who want something, want it, so that when they get it, they don't want it anymore. It's something new now.
Like men, yeah. But you're good. But like most men, and this is this is a key to really everybody.
Get what you want.
Yeah, and this is the key to this is that we're writing about. You're really looking forward to what you want, and there's more than just writing that you can do. Yeah.
It's the journey.
It's the journey.
I understand that.
Yeah.
And that I emphasize that when it comes to writing, that writing is a process. And you have to go through this process and become part of it to understand and be there. Mm-hmm. Be there. I remember years ago there was a program called EST, and the whole concept was to be there.
Present.
To relax. And there's people, an example they gave is waiting for a traffic light. Mm-hmm. The people are there and they lose it till that traffic light finally changes. You know what the definition of an instant? Oops, there we go. You know what the definition of an instant is in New York? The time between when the light changes and the guy behind you beeps the horn. Because
New York.
When you stop and think about it, you're talking about 60 seconds.
Yeah.
And those 60 seconds are like hours to some people.
Exactly.
They're like, come on! They're yelling at that light because it's not changing.
Yeah.
And it's like, what they say is,
yeah, exactly. That's a great example of how time is literally a human construct and a concept. You can stretch it and shrink it depending.
Yeah. I find myself running, and then I say, why am I running? Just take it easy. You'll get there when you get there.
And envision yourself there, relaxing on time and knowing it's all going to be fine.
This is going to sound strange, but we train our children to do that because when you think of a school day, think of how that works. The bell rings to start the day. Then the bell rings to start the first period. Then the bell rings to end the first period. And then a bell rings to start the second period. And all day long, you're answering the bells like a little mouse.
Like a puppy.
Yeah. And 30 years I did that. I answered the bells. When I retired, I was like, it's 10:37. I'm supposed to be somewhere, right?
Yeah.
It's like you get trained. It's ingrained in your brain.
Yes, and that's a great example of a paradigm. So basically, when we're born, our paradigms are like wide open, and that's why little kids.
We close them. Society closes them.
Little kids can see ghosts. They can see spirits. They can see angels. They are very aware of things we're not aware of. They could probably understand your language when you're not even speaking their language. And then as we get older, it's taught by society more and more. We
Yeah.
get programmed into things, including how much money you can make, including what you can be, including, basically it shapes your whole life.
Yeah.
So this whole program, teaching is about breaking those paradigms.
Yeah.
It's as easy to manifest a dime or a button as it is to manifest a castle, okay? The only difference between one versus the other is your belief system. That's the only difference. That's why people that win the lotto repeatedly win the lotto, okay?
Wow.
And people that never win the lotto usually never win the lotto. There was someone that won the lotto so much they wrote a book about it and they were banned from playing it anymore. And in
Wow.
that book was this.
So they kind of drew that luck
Yeah. It's
to them?
like attracts like, and with this, the better it gets, the better it gets. So they won once. Now they definitely know how it feels, right? Even they allowed it in, right? They definitely know how it feels. So then they can manifest it over and over and over and
Wow.
over.
That's a heavy concept, KrisTina.
Yeah, but it's so fun and it's so light and it's
Yeah.
as heavy or light as you make it.
Now, you're getting heavy into this. I mean, you're going for your PhD, right?
Yes.
Woo!
Yes. Yes.
So-
My doctorate in metaphysical science
Yeah.
is correct.
Holy cow.
PhD.
Wow. So you really went into this head over heels.
Yeah, I truly believe in it, and I really believe in empowering and inspiring people so they don't have to be victim of their lives.
Yeah. Because they do. They go. Oh, I used to call them couch potatoes. you
Yeah.
know? And they're these. I had a buddy. I used to have to drag him off the couch
Yeah.
to get him to go anywhere.
Yeah, he's probably depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a mindset.
Yeah, it is. And also, it's good to know that your life right now is actually a result of your past thoughts and actions.
But you can alter that.
Completely. So if you don't like the way your life looks right now, just remember every second is a new second to begin. It's never too late.
When I retired from teaching, it was devastating at first because I taught 12-year-olds. The energy level of 12-year-olds is amazing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
remember, they don't age. Every year I had new 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
So I got older, but they stayed the same age.
Yeah.
And that energy level, I had to keep up with that energy level. When I retired, it was like, whoa, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And I put a lot of my energy into my writing and talking and doing other things.
Yeah.
But I had to change my paradigm. I had
Yeah.
to change what I believed in.
Uh-huh.
And my whole purpose for being had to be refocused.
Uh-huh.
So people don't have to wait till they retire to do this. They can do it at any point in their lives
Yeah.
at all. Is that right?
Right. You could retire from your current job because maybe you were taught or were doing that for your family, but you find your true passion with this and you start a whole new career with that.
Like writing and
You
working
know.
with writers. And
Oh, yeah.
Doing shows. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I hear you. So it's never too late.
Never too late. In fact, there was a man that was flying a plane and crashed the plane, became paralyzed. Okay.
Wow.
He was told by the hospital, "You will never walk again." He couldn't speak. He said through blinking his eyes that he will walk by Christmas, which was, I think it was 9 months away at the time, even though he was told never. Okay. All he had was his thoughts. Through his thoughts, he healed himself and walked
Yeah.
out by Christmas. And the reason why that's confirmed is that he's on tape saying it. So he said,
Yeah.
"I told them through blinking." So it's not like people are like guessing. Like,
One of my best friends was Roy Campanella, who was the Dodger catcher. And if you remember, he played from like 1948 to 1958 and then got into a serious accident and became quadriplegic. And he went from being able to peg Willie Mays out from home plate to not being able to catch a beach ball. And I said to him, "Roy, that must have been amazing for you. How did you do it?" He said, "Vinny, I had to do it." All of a sudden, this wheelchair became my legs. It became my life. And I couldn't say, "Well, I'm not doing it." I had to do it.
Right.
And I had to believe that I could.
Yes.
And that's-
Emotional survival.
yeah.
And that's actually what kind of got me into this work, is that I, throughout really hard times in my life before I even knew this, had to emotionally survive in some way.
Yeah.
Except this is like a lot easier than what I was doing. I was actually doing this by accident. But that also brought up another point, if I have time, which is a recent thing where somebody lost an arm, right? And he had, sometimes when you lose a limb, you get pseudo pains. Like you think you still feel excruciating pain in that arm when you don't have the arm anymore. So what they did is, with a mirror, made them think, like with their mind, that they're helping the arm. And through that, the pain went away. So it's literally all in your mind. Wow. Everything's in your mind.
Yeah.
Your heart energy
so
is
you can
the best
control
energy.
your physical being
Yes.
by controlling your mental being.
Yes, and also your heart energy is also a huge magnetic field, even more than your mental. But in other words, some people don't like to hear about the mental because they have anxiety. A lot of people have anxiety nowadays. And they're like, oh no, my mental's messing everything up. There's ways around that. Anxiety is uncertainty about the future or fear of the future. So if
And
you...
it could be very short future, or it could be long
Correct,
time.
correct. And people lose sleep over this. That's what losing sleep is fear of the future and anxiety and stuff like that. So basically what you would do is literally put yourself in the future. You can have as much a relationship with your future as you do with your past. So basically you can put yourself in the future, know it's all going to be okay since we create it anyway, and then all of a sudden you're sleeping better, you don't have as much anxiety.
Wow.
So even if you're standing online getting Christmas gifts or something and you're worried about being late, no, it's okay. Put yourself in where you want to be, arriving like early or whatever it is, it's fine, blah, blah, blah. And guess what? Even if you don't arrive completely early, which sometimes can happen, mostly can, at least you got rid of your worrying energy, which is so toxic.
I know that there are a number of people who are on autopilot. You know, they get up, everything is just automatic.
Yeah.
And we as humans
Yeah.
have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
We can be on autopilot.
And that's great.
I watch people in cars,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
They get behind that wheel, and they're thinking about 80 million other things,
Yeah.
but that car is in a straight line. It turns when it's supposed to turn, and it's just kind of like they put it on automatic.
Yeah.
And their whole lives are that way.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is we need to get off autopilot and start taking control of the way we think.
Correct. Because otherwise society will run away with you.
Yeah, and run you over.
Yeah, and in fact, we can take advantage of that autopilot thing by, if you want to start reprogramming your mind, look how programmable you are already. Look how, hypnotized you are already. That's literally hypnosis when that happens. So if you want, you can start reprogramming your mind through the power of affirmations, which you can find for free on YouTube. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Free on YouTube. But basically, they have it for everything, the kind of body you want, the kind of career you want, if you want to become a best-selling author. And you would just sort of listen to this as you go to sleep, and as you wake up in the morning, put your laptop near you if you want, or your phone.
So it's reprogramming.
You're reprogramming your subconscious mind. See, because the level we're working on right now is conscious.
The conscious level.
And so if you want to get deeper, right, you would basically, do this. Because the period between you waking and sleeping is the most programmable time for your brain.
So is there one more quick, time is running, unfortunately, it always does. Is there one more quick strategy that people should use daily?
I was just about to say something else and I forgot.
Oops.
But basically just know that where your head's at is where you're headed. So even if you're completely lost right now, you can begin by thinking about one thing you'd like to happen today or what you'd like to happen in your life. And just by thinking that way, your head is focused in that direction, and that's the direction you start gravitating towards.
So learn to focus.
Yeah, and there's many strategies for that, but
Yeah.
at least start knowing what you want, knowing it's possible if you focus on it. You are in control of your life.
Because it's so easy. It's so easy to fall into get up, eat 3 meals,
Yeah.
go to work, eat 3 meals, come home, go to bed. And then get up the next day and do the same thing again.
Yeah, think about what you were put here to do. It wasn't that. You'll find it.
All right, so in our last 3 minutes of this show.
Okay. I thought we were there.
Tell me, Is it easy? Can we make that difference?
It's as easy as you want it to be.
That's right. And you need to want it.
Yeah, and just the awareness of this will help. You know, just starting from there will help. But some people take this and run with it, and within a week, everything's changed.
Wow.
Yeah.
It could be that quick.
It's as easy as you believe it to be.
Yeah.
Basically, anything we believe in. I know it sounds Disney, but
Yeah,
that's
no,
what's
no,
true.
no.
If it's going to take you a while to believe this, it's going to take you a while to accomplish your goals. If you get this right away and you really believe it and you really do it overnight, it can happen overnight. But a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. So you can actually train your beliefs, and then it'll...
A thought that you commit yourself to.
Yeah, it's a thought you keep thinking. If you keep hearing something and, whatever it'll go into your subconscious eventually. So you'll reprogram yourself if you want.
Well, at this point, I believe! And you should believe too. I think what KrisTina is telling us is that it's so easy to be on automatic pilot. To just get through every day and just do what you are supposed to do. But realize that, are you really supposed to be doing that? Maybe you should be doing something else. Maybe you should be aware of who you are, and what you need to be the best you could possibly be. KrisTina, whoa, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You certainly got me thinking. Hopefully you got the audience thinking as well. And come back again.
Okay.
The door's open.
Thank you
Keep
very much.
doing what you're doing. Make people's lives better than they are.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being with us. It has been our pleasure to have you as our guest. And KrisTina, certainly our pleasure to have you as our guest.
Thank you.